At the age of 70, you've lived through more than most will ever understand. Wars, heartbreaks, victories, quiet mornings, and restless nights. You've laughed with friends who are no longer here, and held hands with children who now have children of their own. But there's a question that still lingers in the back of the mind, especially when the house falls quiet and the world feels a bit too fast. How much time do I have left? Today, we aren't talking about fortune-telling. We're talking science, hard facts that predict longevity after 70. 7 signs, each backed by research, each with the power to illuminate the road ahead. Some might surprise you, some might comfort you, and some might urge you to make a change today. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. How old are you right now? Drop your age in the comments. Let's remind everyone here that we are not alone. We're a community walking this path together. And if you find meaning and wisdom like this, take a moment to subscribe. Your life story deserves to be honored, and here, we do just that. Now let's begin. The first sign, it might be hidden in the way you walk. Number 1, gait speed. Walking speed is a predictor of longevity. In 2011, researchers from the University of Pittsburgh reviewed data from over 34,000 adults aged 65 and older. What they discovered stunned the scientific community. Gait speed, how fast a person walks, could predict survival better than age, gender, or even chronic illnesses. Imagine 2 men, both 75 years old. One strolls down the street at a relaxed pace, enjoying the sun on his shoulders. The other, though the same age, walks briskly, with purpose in his stride and alertness in his eyes. 10 years from now, the odds are that the one walking faster will still be with us. Walking speed is more than just a reflection of physical ability. It's a silent marker of the body's internal systems, your brain's coordination, your muscles' strength, your heart's efficiency, and even your mental sharpness. A gait speed of 1 meter per second or faster. That's a very good sign. Slower than 0.6 meters per second? That may be a warning bell worth listening to. But don't worry, this isn't fate carved in stone. Gait speed can improve. Physical therapy, balance training, and simply walking more each day can all make a difference. The body is always trying to heal itself, even at 70, 80, or 90. The question is, are you helping it? Now I want to ask you, how would you describe your walking speed these days? Slow, average, or quick? Be honest and share your answer in the comments. You might be surprised to find how many others are in the same shoes. And if you're still watching, remember to subscribe. This isn't just a video, it's a conversation, and we're just getting started. Next, let's talk about something that might seem small, but could be more powerful than medicine. Number 2, grip strength. A small force that speaks volumes. In a quiet village in Japan, an 83-year-old farmer rises with the sun. His back is slightly curved, but his hands, weathered and strong, still grip the wooden handle of his hoe with steady confidence. He's not rushing. He moves with care. But when he extends his hand to greet you, his grip tells a story. This is a man still full of life. Now here's the surprising part. Science agrees. A global study published in The Lancet followed over 140,000 adults in 17 countries. What did they find? Grip strength was a stronger predictor of early death than even blood pressure. That's right. How hard you can squeeze someone's hand can signal how long you're likely to live. Grip strength reflects more than hand muscles. It tells us about your overall muscle mass, your nervous system's function, and even your cardiovascular health. Weak grip? It's often linked to frailty, poor nutrition, and increased risk of falls or hospitalizations. Strong grip? It's a quiet guardian, defending you day after day. And here's something personal. I remember my grandfather. At 89, he couldn't run or climb, but his handshake remained firm. He passed away peacefully, just months before his 95th birthday. The doctors once told me, he's got the grip of someone 20 years younger. I never forgot that. So, I ask you, when was the last time you tested your grip strength? Try squeezing a tennis ball for 30 seconds. Harder than it sounds, isn't it? Share your results in the comments. Was it easy, moderate, or difficult? And if you find value in what you're hearing, don't forget to like this video. It helps spread wisdom to others who may need it more than you know. Next, we'll move from muscles to the mind. Number 3. Cognitive sharpness, the mind's hidden clock. Picture this. You're sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of tea. The clock ticks softly. You try to remember the name of that neighbor. You know, the one who always wore the red hat and walked her dog every morning. It's on the tip of your tongue, but it slips away. We all forget things now and then. But when small memory lapses start becoming more frequent, it could mean more than just senior moments. A study from Rush University Medical Center followed nearly 1,200 older adults over several years. Those who scored lower on simple cognitive tests, like recalling words or following instructions, had a significantly higher risk of death, even after adjusting for physical health. Why? Because cognitive sharpness is often the first system to falter when something deeper is wrong: nutrient deficiencies, poor blood circulation, early stages of neurological decline. And here's the truth most won't say aloud. Cognitive decline doesn't just affect your memory. It affects your independence, your safety, and even your relationships. But there's also hope. The brain, even at 70 or 80, can still form new connections. Puzzles, learning a new language, or even playing a musical instrument. These aren't just hobbies. They're survival strategies. My old friend Harold, he took up painting at 76, said it kept his mind sharper than attack. He lived to 94 and painted right up to the end. Not masterpieces, no, but each canvas was a message to time. I'm still here. I'm still thinking. Now let me ask you, how often do you challenge your brain? Share in the comments. What's your favorite way to stay mentally sharp? Crossword puzzles? Chess? Reading history? If this video is sparking something in your mind, hit that subscribe button, because keeping your brain strong starts with feeding it the right kind of wisdom. Next, we'll leave the mind and step into something even more subtle: how you sleep. Number 4. Sleep quality, the nightly report card of your body. It's 2:13 a.m. The house is quiet. The hallway is dark. You've been lying there for hours, eyes open, mind racing, waiting for sleep that just won't come. You shift, sigh, and glance at the clock again. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Poor sleep in older adults isn't just a nuisance, it's a red flag. According to a study published in JAMA Internal Medicine, older adults who consistently slept less than 5 hours per night had a 25% higher risk of early death compared to those who got between 7 and 8 hours. And those with fragmented, restless sleep? Even worse outcomes. Sleep is when your body restores itself. It's when your brain files memories, your heart rate slows, your immune system repairs, and your cells regenerate. Without good sleep, you're running a machine without ever stopping to service it. And don't be fooled. Getting older does not mean you're supposed to sleep poorly. That's a myth. In fact, the body craves routine and rest more than ever in our later years. Insomnia, sleep apnea, restless legs, these aren't harmless annoyances. They're signals that something's out of balance. Let me tell you about Mrs. Alvarez, a neighbor from my hometown. At 81, she started waking up multiple times a night, always tired during the day. Her doctor brushed it off as just old age. But her granddaughter pushed for a sleep study, and it turned out she had undiagnosed sleep apnea. With treatment, she started sleeping deeply again. "I feel 10 years younger," she told me one Sunday after church. So I ask you, how are you sleeping these days? Restful? Restless? Interrupted? Share honestly in the comments. You may not realize how many others are tossing and turning just like you. And if you're still with me, consider liking this video. These signs we're talking about, they're quiet, often overlooked. But together, we can shine a light on them. Next, we'll explore something many people ignore until it's too late: your sense of purpose. Number 5. Sense of purpose. Why having a why can add years to your life. When George lost his wife after 52 years of marriage, he stopped going to the community center. He didn't garden anymore. Meals became microwave dinners eaten alone at the edge of the kitchen counter. One evening, he told his son, "I don't know why I'm still here." But something changed a few months later. George began volunteering at the local elementary school, reading stories to second graders. His posture improved. He laughed again. And one day, he said something I'll never forget. Those kids gave me a reason to wake up in the morning. Science supports George's story. A landmark study from the University of Michigan found that older adults with a strong sense of purpose had a 15% lower risk of death, even after accounting for health conditions, income, and education. This wasn't about religion or productivity or wealth. It was about meaning, feeling that your life still matters to someone or something. Purpose can be simple: tending a garden, writing letters, cooking for your grandchildren, helping a neighbor, even caring for a pet. But without purpose, the days can blur together. And when that happens, the body and mind begin to fade. I once met a 92-year-old piano teacher who still taught 2 students a week. When I asked her why she kept doing it, she smiled and said, "Because they still need me." That was her medicine. That was her secret. So I want to hear from you. What gives you purpose these days? Is it family, faith, a creative passion, or are you still searching for it? Leave your answer in the comments. You never know who you might inspire. If this message hits home, subscribe. Because around here, we believe life doesn't end at 70, it evolves. And purpose is the compass that guides it forward. Now, let's move to something you carry every single day, but may not even notice: your waistline. Number 6. Waist circumference, the silent marker of health risk. You look in the mirror. You see a soft belly that's grown slowly over the years. It's just part of aging, you might think. Nothing I can do about it now. But that waistline, it's speaking volumes. And what it's saying could be more urgent than you realize. According to the National Institute on Aging, a waist circumference over 40 inches for men and 35 inches for women is linked to a significantly higher risk of early death, even in people with a normal body mass index, BMI. That means you could be normal weight on the scale, but still carry dangerous visceral fat around your organs. This type of fat isn't the kind you pinch. It's hidden deep in your abdomen, wrapping itself around your liver, pancreas, and intestines. And it doesn't just sit there. It releases chemicals that cause chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and damage to blood vessels. Over time, it contributes to heart disease, diabetes, and even cognitive decline. Now, let's compare 2 74-year-old women, one with a round waistline and limited movement, the other who takes daily walks, eats whole foods, and maintains a healthy midsection. They both have gray hair and warm smiles, but their health trajectories? Opposite directions. You don't need to chase youth, but you do need to protect your center. Even modest changes, cutting back on processed foods, adding more vegetables, moving your body 20 minutes a day, can shrink visceral fat. It's not about appearance. It's about the quiet battle happening under your skin. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you measured your waist, not your weight? Be brave. Share your thoughts in the comments. Has your midsection changed over the years? And if you've made it this far, like this video. Every click helps bring this wisdom to someone else who might be silently struggling. Now, let's turn to our final sign. One that reflects not just your body or your habits, but your heart, your relationships. Number 7. Social connections. The invisible medicine that extends life. Let me tell you a story. Mr. Franklin was 88 when I met him. A quiet man. Lived alone. His son had moved to another state. His wife had passed 10 years earlier. "I don't get many visitors," he said softly, his eyes fixed on the faded photograph on his nightstand. "I used to be around people all the time." He wasn't sick, not yet, but he was shrinking in another way. Slowly, quietly, alone. And here's where science speaks volumes. A massive study by Brigham Young University found that social isolation increases the risk of early death by 29%. Even more shocking, the health risks of chronic loneliness are equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not just emotional hardship. That's biological. Loneliness raises stress hormones, weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, and increases inflammation. Over time, it chips away at life expectancy, quietly, mercilessly. But here's the power in this truth. Connection is a choice. It doesn't have to mean parties or crowds. It can mean calling a friend once a week, joining a local book club, volunteering, going to church, even having a regular coffee date with your neighbor. The goal isn't numbers, it's meaning. I knew another man, Tommy, 82 and widowed. He started hosting Sunday soup nights for anyone in his apartment complex who felt alone. Sometimes 3 people came, sometimes 10, but he said it gave him a reason to put on a clean shirt, to laugh, to matter. Now I ask you, who are your people? Who checks in on you? And who do you check in on? Drop a comment and share the name of someone you're grateful for. Let's turn this video into a web of connections. And if this message speaks to your heart, hit subscribe. Because here, you're never truly alone. We've now explored the 7 signs. But before we part, let's take a moment to reflect on all of it. The body, the mind, the soul. Let's close with one final thought. You've walked with me through 7 signs, each one a window into the quiet forces that shape your life beyond 70. Not myths, not guesses, but truths, grounded in science and steeped in the wisdom of lived experience. And if you saw yourself in any of these signs, whether it's your walking speed, your grip, your sleep, or your loneliness, know this, it is not too late. Aging is not a surrender, it is a season. And like every season, it holds both challenge and renewal. I want you to take a moment right now and breathe. Think about your body, how it's carried you all these years. Think about your mind, how it still seeks, still questions, still hopes. Think about your heart, how it still longs to love and be loved. Longevity is not about escaping death. It's about embracing life, fully, deliberately, with a sense of dignity and purpose. Whether you live to 75 or 105, what matters most is how you live. Now, I turn it to you. Which of these signs do you relate to the most? What changes are you ready to make? Let your voice be heard in the comments. You never know whose life you might touch with your honesty. And if this video stirred something in you, if it reminded you that your life still holds meaning, then I ask one last time, subscribe. Not because I need it, but because you deserve to keep walking in wisdom, surrounded by others who understand. I'll be here when you need me. Until then, take care of yourself. You've come this far, and the road ahead is still yours to walk.